But it must be hard to stomach if you are Athletic Club after that 5-0 thrashing from Barcelona. They are in the final in Sunday's Super Cup. Luis Garcia was watching this too. Are you impressed and happy with what you saw from Barcelona, Luis?
Yes, I am impressed and I'm happy with what I've seen. Yes, a few things that I'm still waiting to see what is going to happen, because definitely the team that Barcelona got in front didn't show up. After 20 minutes, Barcelona controlled the whole game, started creating chances, started scoring goals. They played kind of a walk in the park for them. And I was expecting an Athletic Club de Bilbao just to put a little bit more of a fight. That's what it's all about, Athletic Club. We all know them. The DNA is about the fight, the intensity, always being competitive, and today they were not competitive at all. So I'm expecting something.
Be excited! I would suggest this is best case scenario for Barcelona and Hansi Flick. If Hansi Flick drew up what would be the best case scenario for him in this game against Athletic Club, this would have been it. That the game was over by halftime, which then allowed him to rotate the team. It became a glorified training session in the second half, which then, again, it gives Hansi Flick the freedom to rest some people and to worry about what's going to be a far more competitive game on Sunday. And I think we all understand that. But if you're Hansi Flick and you're Barcelona, you're not upset at all that Athletic Club did not show up. That's on them. The responsibility of Barcelona is to take advantage of the opportunities that were afforded to them by Athletic Club, and they did so time and time and time and time again. So if I'm a Barcelona fan, yes, don't get ahead of yourself in terms of this is not going to be the game that we're going to see on Sunday, but be excited about the fact that you were controlling a match and that you were not only in full control of the match, but that you took advantage of opportunities, which hasn't quite been the case against Villarreal late in the year and then against Espanyol last weekend, in which they were not in control of games, in which there was an element of good fortune in terms of how those games went, and Joan Garcia had to come up with saves. Today, 5-0, every bit of 5-0. It was a backside whooping, so reason to be excited. I don't know why Barcelona's #1 fan, Luis Garcia, cannot just enjoy the night.
Yeah, you have the right to reply here, Luis.
No, actually I enjoyed, and I enjoy very much, because I've seen a fantastic Rafinha once again, 100% full fit with that ability to arrive in the right space at the right time. We saw once again Ferran Torres scoring. He looked so hot in the past week. They were brilliant because there is no lack in any of them. You could see the Barcelona try every single time to play that kind of game, open the players in the wide areas, bring the ball into the center, use the spaces that the Athletic Club they were leaving. But in the end, it's the semi-final, and even though that I would love to see Barcelona more often, but if I look back, what I see is sometimes a very good Barcelona and those picks. The consistency is not been there, even though that the last month and a half or two, let's don't forget this, another clean sheet today. There's been a few in the last couple of months. But even though what I don't want to feel is that at the weekend, they are going to find the same. We are going to feel that Barcelona is going to go and they're going to find the same thing. Yeah, of course, I'm happy to see Barcelona playing this way and showing their strength. But I'm just holding a little bit, because definitely in front of them, they didn't have a contest. They didn't have a team that at least put them under pressure at some point. I think they last 15 minutes, the pressure of Athletic de Bilbao.
Well, they should do on Sunday either way, whether it's Atleti or Real Madrid. Lamine Yamal coming on when he did. Were you surprised to see that?
No, because Hansi Flick told us in the pregame that he hasn't trained in 3 days. So you ask the player, how are you feeling? Have you gotten past your stomach discomfort? If indeed he's ready to play, you want him to get some minutes so that he gets some sweat going, so that he gets his lungs going once again, so that he gets the legs going, so that he gets the trip out of his legs. All of those things are important, and it's not like he played 45 minutes. It's not like he played 60 minutes. He was out there for 20, 25 minutes, which is essentially just get out there and touch the ball. Get some touches on the ball. Get a sweat going. Stretch your legs a little bit. It's what he would have done in a training session. And so absolutely no issues whatsoever. And mind you, he wasn't in any risk of an injury, because Athletic Club were nowhere near actually challenging anybody or getting close to Barcelona at any point. So it's basically, I'll get some touches, I'll get some touches. Luis Garcia could have gotten touches today. Luis Garcia could have gotten a goal today.
Luis Garcia is just taking his time, managing his expectations ahead of Sunday's final. It's a third successive draw. At 1-1, this game would finish. We saw chances from both ends in it as well. Let's welcome in Stuart Robson to talk more about what we saw, but just a look at how the standings are. City remaining second, but now they are 5 points off Arsenal, and the Gunners have the chance to go 8 points clear if they can beat Liverpool tomorrow. It feels like a big shift in the Premier League title race, Stuart.
It certainly does, because Man City over the last 3 games haven't quite been good enough, and tonight they weren't good enough. And it allows Arsenal, if Arsenal have a little slip, it doesn't matter quite so much now. They're playing with full of confidence. I think they will beat Liverpool tomorrow. And they'll be 8 points clear. And I think they're going to win the title by quite some way in the end. Because Man City at the moment, as you saw in those clips there, defensively they were all over the place for the first 20 minutes. Yes, it was a sort of a makeshift back four with several players injured. But they didn't create enough going forward. Most of the chances that they created were given to them by Brighton. You missed a couple of other ones out there where they played out from the back, Brighton, and gave Man City easy chances. So it wasn't a great performance. Rodri came on in the last 20 minutes but didn't have an influence on the game. But overall, I think it was a fair result. Brighton had some big chances. Man City had some chances but didn't control the game. And if you don't control games when you're playing at home against the likes of Brighton, I don't think you can expect to win the Premier League at the moment.
How bad is it for the title race for Man City, Shaq?
I can give them some of their feelings. That was clearly on display against Brighton, a good footballing team in Brighton. You just feel, especially when you draw the comparisons between Manchester City and Arsenal, who generally don't drop points, given the gap that they're on, you just wonder where City now have to be perfect from here to the end of the season, and even so, where do Arsenal drop those points? And for me, and we're in January, the January transfer window is open. You expect Pep Guardiola and Manchester City to do an awful lot of business, but there are just so many holes in this Manchester City team, particularly defensively. How do you fix that defense in one transfer window? I'm not sure. Again, and as far as attacking-wise goes, Doku on the pitch today, I find they look so much better when he's on the park, have 2 natural wingers. A lot of talk about Semenyo, whether he comes in. As it happens, he played on that left-hand side for Bournemouth today. Maybe having 2 orthodox wingers gets the best out of Erling Haaland yet again. But there's just so much for Pep Guardiola to fix in a very short space of time, and no wiggle room between now and the end of the season.
It's gone from feeling, Stuart, as though Manchester City might be putting something together to now these 3 successive draws and it may be falling off a little bit.
Yeah, I think they've had some injuries, of course, to that back four. As I said, it was a makeshift back four, and Kuzanov was one of the centre-halves. Alain came in from Watford. He's been out on loan. He was brought back. So that was understandable that they didn't have a good understanding to start with. They tried to play a high line. Nathan Ake, who they're talking about trying to sell, was playing at left-back. And Nunez was playing at right-back. So it's not a particularly good back four. And Nico Gonzalez, once again, failed to really impress and dominate the game, both without the ball and with the ball, and that's why Rodri has to come back and be fully fit. He was much better when he came on against Sunderland. He didn't have the same sort of impact today. And in the front areas, Erling Haaland had his chances today, didn't take them, but he's always going to score. Bernardo Silva playing out on the right-hand side. He can keep the ball, but there's not enough penetration from that side of the field, whereas, as Shaka just said, Doku looks to be the dangerous player at the moment. He's the one that created the penalty, or got the penalty. He actually won the ball back from a cross-field pass initially. So they've got a long way to go at the moment. Reinders didn't have one of his better games. I just feel as though they know they're not going to win the title. The crowd know they weren't going to win, or aren't going to win the title. They didn't turn up in great numbers tonight. It was a strange atmosphere at the ground.
Game winner.
Oh, what a way to bow out Shaka in that 3-2 against Spurs, late winner from Semenyo.
It really was, and all eyes were on him for obvious reasons on that left-hand side, just operates so well. From a Spurs perspective, I thought Thomas Frank's team played well enough. Not I can't say that they were that much worse than Bournemouth. But Semenyo, all eyes on him, and certainly delivered. Again, playing wide as that natural wide player, taking players on, is always such a threat. We know about Spurs defensively. Semenyo exposed that, and then very well taken goal, knowing where the space is, finding an incredible finish.
Have you ever left a team like that, in that style, Ale?
Ali can't shoot from that far.
Yeah. Valid point, Shaq.
No need for it, though, really.
Well, unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
As valid as it may be.
Felt like a bit of a swipe, if I'm honest.
It seemed unnecessary. You come in late, you do whatever you want, Shaq. You just take a shot at me if you will. But it's ideal if you're Semenyo. Who knows how the Bournemouth fans feel about Semenyo leaving? Of course, they're going to be disappointed that their best player is walking out the door. But when you finish your stay at a team like this and you provide the team with a win, then I think it in some ways it softens the blow, but in other ways it highlights what you're letting go and it highlights what's no longer going to be here. For him, ideal. I don't wait to give yourself a birthday present. I've done that. I scored on my birthday before.
Oh, nice.
See, Shaq, I've done that before. But to your point, Shaq, well outside my range, that goal. And well taken. I think it's a big win for Bournemouth. And you looked at it from the perspective of Spurs. And you say, well, they play well enough. Well, apparently not. Apparently not. You look at Andoni Areola and what he has been able to do with his team, it really is impressive.
What's he going to bring Antoine Semenyo, Robbo, to Man City?
Well, as you saw, plenty of pace. He plays on that left-hand side, can come on his right foot and get shots away. I think he's an intelligent footballer as well. His movement off the ball is good. He knows how to find space. He can link up with others. I think he's the all-round wide player, particularly when he comes in field on that right foot. But at Manchester City, they have Doku, they have Semenyo, they have Marmoush, who were all brought in last year to play that sort of role at some point. So he's got to be better than those three. And he probably, at the moment, is better than two of them, but maybe just on a level par with Doku. So it'd be interesting to see if he does go to Man City, where he actually fits in, or whether he can play on the other side, or whether Doku has to play on the other side. But he's certainly an outstanding player. He's been playing well for a good time now. It's not just a flash in the pan. He's an excellent player, and he'll give Man City something else to think about.
So he's definitely going, LA.
I was just going to say that's the key, what Stewie just mentioned there. Can any of these guys play on the other side? Mm-hmm. And I don't understand why nowadays some of these wing-type players, why they are so limited to where they can play. If you're a winger type, go to the right, go to the left. It shouldn't make that much of a difference. The game itself, in terms of the concept of what you bring to a team, is not all that different. But it feels like, yeah, Doku's got to be on the left, otherwise he's useless. Or Savinho's got to be on the right, otherwise he's useless. How about just showing that you can do, instead of having to cut the ball to the inside, as Doku seems to do all the time, and Semenyo seems to do all the time, how about, hey, dip on the shoulder and you go to the outside? What is wrong with that? I don't see why it's either a managerial decision or why players seem to limit themselves in terms of what they can do in wide areas. One of these guys is going to have to show that they can play on the opposite side. And if they do, then we get to what Shaka was talking about, where you have a dual threat from wide areas.
Yeah. What does his arrival do? What impact will it have on the title race, if any?
Well, on the title race, as we see it now, not much. I mean, it gives Arsenal more to think about, but I still think it'll take an almighty collapse from Arsenal for City to get themselves back in this. Now, we've seen City been not perfect, but very, very good in the second half of the season. That was City of 2 or 3 years ago. I'm still not sure that City are back there yet, given what you saw last year. But it certainly provides a different option, or it provides a greater threat. And to Ali's point, having two wingers, that doesn't have to be a natural side, especially when you have somebody like Erling Haaland in the middle. You don't have to whip a cross in for Erling Haaland to score for it. You just have to stand it up. You could use your wrong foot, stand a cross up, and Erling Haaland will finish it off. So you now have this threat from both sides, regardless of what your preferred side may be. That makes City better, but again, the title race is about Arsenal right now. Not about City, not about what they're able to do in January. It only comes down to whether Arsenal can collapse between now and May.
Before we move on from talking about this game, we do need to know, Stuart Robson, if you ever had a farewell that was quite so fitting for any of your clubs.
No, absolutely not. No, I certainly didn't. I left Arsenal after being injured for 4 months and had an operation. And then when I came out of the operation, West Ham came in for me and I was off pretty quickly. And the same happened at West Ham. I went to Coventry when I was actually injured. So I didn't have the farewell that I would have liked, I suppose.
The good thing is that he's turned the page.
Exactly.
Did you score on your birthday? That's the only thing.
Did you score on your birthday? That's a good question from Shaka. Did you score on your birthday,
Did I
Robbo?
score on my birthday? I didn't score that many, so I probably didn't score on my birthday. I don't think.
All right. We'll
I'm not sure I even got a win on my birthday, but there we go.
Again, good things that he's let it go.
I know, we should probably move on. And some work to do for that man up there in the stands. Chelsea losing in this game. Robbo was watching it for us. What did you take away from it, Stuart?
It was a strange game because at the start Chelsea were dominant, or quite dominant, without creating too many chances. Most of their threat came from set plays. They had about 3 corners on the trot where they hit the crossbar and sometimes straight from the corner. The goalkeeper, Burnley-Man, didn't play particularly well in that early period of the game. And then, as Chelsea have done on many occasions, they went to sleep and Cucurella got sent off, after not too long, and that changed the whole game. And if Fulham had really gone for the jugular, I think they could have beaten Chelsea quite easily. But then they backed off and they allowed Chelsea to get back into the game, and Cole Palmer had more touches of the ball. Neto started to get involved more in the game. They made a change. Fernandes came off and the captain came on. James came on into midfield, and it gave them a little lift. And they got their equaliser. But from that moment on, they then went back into their shells, and Fulham started to play again. They got crosses into the box. They got more balls into the danger area. They got the ball forward quicker. And in the end, probably just about deserved their win. And Harry Wilson at the moment is a player that is on top form, scored a very good goal. But from Chelsea's point of view, yes, they showed some fight in the second half. But they looked a bit fragmented at times. There was too much space sometimes for Harry Wilson to come short and Smith Rowe to come short. So there was a big space between the defenders and the midfield players. I think he's got a lot of work to do at the moment, Liam Rosenior.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you actually make of this Chelsea team as he finds it right now, Robbo?
One that I think is struggling to find its identity, struggling to find exactly what they're trying to do. At times they play slowly out from the back without too much penetration. Other times they try and go longer, and not always at the right time do they do either thing. There seems to be some disharmony at times. A couple of substitutions were made today, and the players argued over those substitutions. So, I think he's got a lot of work to do. And I think the players are looking at the club and thinking, are we going down the right route here? So Liam Rosenior has got to get results very, very quickly, I feel, just to get everybody on board, to get the crowd on board, to get the players on board, and maybe even to get the people who made the appointment on board as well.
Yeah, to Robbo's point, it's not going to be easy for him, is it?
No, it's not. And we've spoken about the job that Maresca did certainly in trying to get some kind of control around Chelsea's dressing room and the numbers that they have in there. I certainly have been fairly critical of some of these signings. I will say I thought Liam Delap was as good as I've seen him in the blue of Chelsea today. So at least there's that as far as a positive goes. But to Robbo's point, you dominated the game, and somehow Chelsea have this way of shooting themselves in the foot. The red card came as simply and from a Chelsea perspective, as stupidly as you can expect. And from there, you're always up against it. I will also say, I'll double down on what Robbo is saying, what a footballer Harry Wilson is. And he showed it. Okay, again, Chelsea had 10 men. Harry Wilson was allowed to boss that midfield, was running in behind, getting things short. What a player. And certainly Chelsea, or the 10 men of Chelsea, didn't have an answer for that. Fulham, and again, to Robbo's point, control the game. Harry Wilson had a goal disallowed for offside, rightly so, Raul Jimenez. And then they just then dropped off and allowed Chelsea to play, particularly early in the second half. And then Chelsea score, and again, they go to sleep again. So it's just this weird kind of dynamic about the Chelsea team. You can show yourself as being so good, but then at the same time, sit back, defend, don't look yourself, and make some really sloppy mistakes. Now, how you fix that is Liam Rosenior will have to figure out. That's a big ask in getting this team who are as inconsistent even during the course of a 90 minutes, as you will see.
So they lack consistency and continuity.
Yeah.
You know what resolves that? Coaching change. When you don't have continuity, it's great to make changes.
If you're a player with that chaos behind you that Chelsea have had, what do you want this new manager coming in and doing, Ale?
Right. Well, I just mentioned consistency and continuity. That would be a place to start, but you don't develop that overnight. And so, if I'm a player in that locker room, and I'm a little confused as to why the guy that was here is no longer here, right? And I'm trying to figure out what my role is within this team. I think this is now, as it is the case when any new manager comes in, an opportunity for those that weren't playing to say, hey, maybe I'm the guy. I wasn't being taken into consideration. Maybe I'm the guy. For those that are playing, they have to be at their best and make an initial impression that actually is worthwhile. This is true for any manager and for any player. New manager comes in, he's evaluating. Mm-hmm. And he owes nothing to any of these players. For them, all these players, or for him, all these players have now an opportunity. Prove something. Show me something. We are in the show me stage for Chelsea players, if indeed they want to be part of what's ahead in the future of Chelsea. But we don't even know what that is. We don't know what the immediate future of Chelsea is. We don't know what the long-term future of Chelsea is. Because if Liam Senior comes in and says, well, I need another player here and I need another player there, and I'm not quite certain that this is the direction we want to go, or is he just a yes man? And that is the perception that we get from him coming in, is that hey, this guy in the short period is going to be a yes man. He's going to say yes to those above him so that then he's allowed to work. But at some point, he's going to want to have his team. And none of these players are part of his team.
To that point, to Ali's theme around consistency and continuity, Liam Rosenior needs to know who his starting 11 is and stick with it. I think one of the big criticisms around...
And how do you do that in the middle of the season, Shaq?
One of the big criticisms around Maresca is you never quite knew who the midfield was going to be, and it seemed to change from game to game. You never knew who the back four was going to be. That seemed to change from game to game. You use Liam Delap in certain games and then not in others, and some you use João Pedro. Figure out who's your 11 and figure out which 11 best suits your style of football that you're going to be playing at Chelsea, and stick with it. Never mind this rotation for rotation's sake, because you might have games coming up in midweek or whatever it may be. Figure out who your starting 11 is, figure out who your preferred options off the bench are, and stick with that. Be consistent with that.
Now that we have got you, Stuart, were you surprised with how it ended with Maresca?
Well, once he criticised the board and said that he had that terrible 48 hours and said all those things, he was always going to be on his bike. But just going back to the point you were making there about consistency. Now, one of his complaints, and the reason that he didn't like the situation at Chelsea anymore, is because he was being told, so he says, or so it's being intimated, by the medical team and the sports science team, that you have to rotate the team. You have to play this player and you have to play that player. You can only play this player so long. So how do you get consistency if you're the manager? When you want to maybe say, I want to stick with the same 11, and they're in charge, because that's what they did when they took him on, apparently. They told him, we're going to be in charge of when the minutes that players play and all this sort of stuff. And it'll be the same under Liam Rosenior, because the medical side is still there. There's the same people running the club, the same people in positions that are telling the manager what to do. So it looks as though the board are going to be managing the manager rather than the other way around. So it's going to be very, very difficult for Liam Rosenior to get any sort of consistency and pick the same team week in, week out.
And there'll no doubt be more talk about this on the latest edition of the Gab and Jules podcast. That will be dropping tomorrow. Make sure to check it out wherever you do get your podcasts. So here's how things are going to go. Obviously, Manchester United are with an interim coach in Darren Fletcher at the moment, so we don't know if it is going to be immediate. It looked as though it was with Benjamin Sesko today, though, Robbo.
Well, it's good to see as well, because when he was at Leipzig, everybody was after him. Everyone was saying what a great striker he was, young, he was athletic, he made good runs, he was a decent finisher. But as Ali just said, where has that been? Because we haven't really seen it. He looks a little bit off the pace at times. He looks as though he's not particularly physically strong. But I think it comes down to confidence. And maybe those two goals will give him confidence, because there didn't look to be a lot of space to run in behind. And Ali's absolutely right. It's a brilliant run. The ball was perfect for him from Bruno Fernandes. And the second one, again, the timing of the run, the quality of the finish, just allowing it to hit the inside of his right foot. So if that gives him the confidence, then Manchester United have got a good striker on their hands. You know, when Mbeumo comes back and Cunha plays at his very best, they've got a decent front three. So it might just catapult them a little bit up the table.
Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is said to be the leading candidate to come in at the moment, and reports state that would be welcomed by some of the senior figures like Harry Maguire and Bruno Fernandes. Does it make sense right now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
It makes sense for Manchester United, certainly in the longer term, in that you expect Manchester United are not going to make shouldn't be making a full-time appointment right now, kind of given what's to come this summer, and there may be a whole lot of big names available at the end of the World Cup. So you want somebody just to kind of
Steady the ship?
Steady, well, just keep it going. Just keep it going in a general direction. That's what Manchester United need right now. Keep it going in a general direction.
They could have gone fourth today if things had gone their way.
And that's the thing, you know, for all our criticisms of Manchester United and Ruben Amorim, they were 1 or 2 wins from being in the top 4. And again, to your point, they win this in the top 4, and all of a sudden it looks and feels a whole lot different if you win those Champions League spots. The last time Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came and took over as interim, just went on this incredible run that prompted the ownership to give him the job full time. I kind of feel like this is going to be Ole's role for some time. Whenever a manager gets sacked and you need somebody just to come and either steady the ship or just keep it going in a general direction, he's going to come in and do that. I think he has the respect of the players. He's adored by the fans. So it ticks a lot of boxes in terms of that short-term appointment.
Ole at the wheel again.
Okay. Well, if he's just going to keep it in the general direction, I suppose if that's the standard, then yeah, sure, no problem. But to suggest that because Manchester United are a couple points away from a top 4 position, and to say that that's somehow something that they should hang their hat on, is ignoring the fact that a bunch of those teams that are in those very same positions have been very average this year. So it's not evaluating just Manchester United. You're not evaluating the guys or the teams that are around them. The truth is that Manchester United have been better than what they were last season. But the standard last season, mommy, right? So has there been an improvement? Yeah, a marginal improvement. But there's been an improvement. Is there a better structure to this team? I guess I think you can say that as well. So again, we go back to the very analytical, scientific approach that Xhaka just took about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Just keep it going that way, that way. You know, you're gonna have a couple of setbacks, but just kind of keep it moving. To Xhaka's point, again, this is like the power rankings. This is the same reasoning that he has and the same algorithm. Just kind of moving that way in the general vicinity of some sort of progress. If that's the standard, then yeah, that's your guy.
What do you think, Brabo?
Well, I mean, I suppose it's a good part-time appointment, but it was only 3 or 4 years ago when we were saying that the team were directionless under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They didn't have any sort of tactical understanding. They couldn't get the ball into the front areas with any quality. What were they actually trying to do? Were they good defensively? We said all those things when he was the manager before. We'll probably be saying all those things again from now to the end of the season.
But don't you, if we to Stewie's point, we know what this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thing looks like. And to Stewie's point again, there was, even though Xhaka just wants general direction, we were directionless. So I don't understand, why don't you just stick with Darren Fletcher and see what you got in this guy? What's there to lose? I don't, is the difference between Solskjaer and Fletcher so significant? I don't know. Suppose Xhaka can tell me that.
I got to.
All right, thank you, Shaq. Appreciate it.
All right, well, that's how things are looking with Manchester United at the moment. Thursday brings us the second of the Supercopa semi-finals. It's Atleti against Real Madrid. You can catch that game on ESPN2 and the app. Ahead of it, Martin Einstein caught up with Real Madrid manager Xabi Alonso.
Xabi, the Super Cup starts. It's a new year. Good sensations of the team winning the last games. And what's your take on this tournament, and what is important for Real Madrid in terms of sensations?
Yeah, for sure. We are starting the second part of the season, and right now we have the first title to fight for, to challenge for. So it's the most important, and for sure we are looking forward to tomorrow. It's the semi-final against Atletico. Always tough games, tough opponent, and we are looking forward to it.
Is it useful to get all the notes that you got from the Metropolitano game against Atletico de Madrid to prepare the game in a different way?
Well, I would say that we are preparing and thinking that it's going to be different, but we don't forget the lessons that we need to learn from that game. The negatives that we took from that game, that we don't have to repeat them.
Not Mbappé, but a newcomer that has done amazingly the last game, Gonzalo.
Yeah, for sure. After having a problem, you try to solve it, and the solution was pretty good. Gonzalo, he he had an incredible game, not just for the game, for the goals. His work rate is amazing, and he helped to have a solid performance, and we are working to repeat that tomorrow.
Stuart Robson's still with us, but let's go to that point that Martin Einstein brought up last there. No Mbappe, but no problem because of Gonzalo Garcia right now, Ale?
Well, of course you would want to have Kylian Mbappe on the field. Let's not get crazy. But the point that he made about the work rate, I think it's a message to Gonzalo Garcia, gives this team, makes this team better, because it gives this team more balance and more variety in the attack. It doesn't make him a better player than Kylian Mbappe. It doesn't make him a better player than Vini Jr. But if he continues to score goals in the absence of Kylian Mbappe, it's going to give Xabi Alonso a decision to make in terms of how can we keep this kid on the bench when he's doing so many things that really impact the way that we play.
And of course, Stuart, this is also a chance for Xabi Alonso to put things right in a Madrid derby, because we remember what happened in La Liga back in September when Atleti beat them 5-2.
Yeah, it was a bad night for him. They were totally outplayed. A lot of players had a really poor games. They were tactically beaten by Simeone's men. Everything went wrong for Real Madrid, and he's got a chance to change that now. He's a manager still under pressure. They've still got to win games. They've still got to perform well. Even if they win games, they've got to perform well. And if they can play with a lot of enthusiasm, if they can score goals, they can outplay Atletico Madrid and then play Barcelona in the final and win that. That makes his position a lot easier. But it's going to be a tough game for him, and it's a tough few months for Xabi Alonso. But if Gonzalo Garcia plays as he did at the weekend against Betis and shows all that enthusiasm and all that quality that Ali was just talking about, it does give the team a boost. It makes other players start running around and start closing the ball down and start pressing with more enthusiasm. So it's a game to look forward to, that's for sure. And if they win that, what a final it should be against Barcelona.
Yes, absolutely. And that final is coming up on Sunday. We do find out who will face Barcelona tomorrow. Between this game, we've also found out who Real Madrid and Barcelona will be facing next in the Copa del Rey. The round of 16 draw schedule has been announced for Barcelona. They are away to Racing Santander. Real Madrid away to Albacete. Games coming up next week on ESPN+. Big game tomorrow is Arsenal against Liverpool. Arsenal looking to take the Premier League crown off Liverpool. Just a look when it comes to recent meetings. It's been quite close between the two sides. So let's get word from both the managers, Arteta and Slot, ahead of it.
We are top of the table. We play at home against a really good opponent, and we want to maintain our position. And in order to do that, we're gonna have to be excellent throughout the game to deserve to win the game, and that's the point we have to prove. And we can go again and again. I mean, every week we have a point to prove.
Well, I think we've shown already that we can do this because we've beaten, for example, Arsenal at home, and I can come up with many other games that we've won against very strong teams. But we also know that it's going to be a special game for them as well. So we have to be completely ready because they are as well. They are in a very positive vibe at the moment, and it's obvious that we aren't, especially because we've conceded again a late goal. But I think everyone, me for sure, is looking forward to this game because it's always nice to be part of a Liverpool game, but especially if you face the Real Madrids or Arsenals or City or these kind of games. So we're definitely looking forward to going there tomorrow.
Yes, and all of our panel have gone for 2-0, so you probably shouldn't. You should go for a Liverpool win.
Yeah.
Shaka, Ale and Stuart all saying Arsenal are going to win this one 2-0.
Oh boy, that's not a good sign for
Never a good
Arsenal.
sign.
What do you think?
I don't give predictions anymore. It's my
boy,
New Year's
what a-
resolution. Hello, welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Stuart Robson's joining us. Before we get to the questions tonight, Ale and Shaka, we wanted to talk about a special moment that happened in studio today. It doesn't happen often.
Okay.
Ale and I opened the show because we'd been on the coverage for the Spanish Supercopa, and we decided to try something new.
Boy.
And that would be Shaka walking in to set instead of, just...
This was his
This
warm-up.
was his practicing when he found out he was going to have to do. Talk us through it, Shaq.
Method
I
acting.
was
Method
I was
acting.
trying to figure out, what we're going for, what mood we're going for. I'm very much.
Oh, well, I don't know what that was. I thought you were gonna electric slide into. Yes, that's a one. That's a one.
What do you reckon, Robbo?
Oh dear. Shambles, absolute shambles.
Oh, boy.
Don't think we'll be trying that again.
What was Xhaka doing? And I've not seen Ali dance since one night in West Hartford about 5 years ago.
Oh,
so it's not
boy.
something I want to see again. That's
There's
for sure.
another story, clearly.
Hey, still there, Stewie. Still there.
Still got it. I don't think we'll be trying that again, Shaka.
Why? I thought
You
I
liked
nailed
it?
it. I thought I nailed it in the end.
You wanna tell the people what your go-to was gonna be actually? Huh? The whole idea of sliding over the table.
Yeah, I didn't know, but I thought I could just come sliding over the table and finish with a pose along the table, but I'm not sure it's sturdy enough.
Oh, that's the problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not as light as I used to be. Let's just leave it at that and get to the questions.
And of course, if you would like to see more of Shaka's acting, there is a lovely Trinidad commercial,
Yes.
and I mean,
Now-
Which Kay said today, whenever she's a little down, she watches that to get her laughs in.
I'm not exaggerating.
You know what, Kay?
Go ahead, Stewie. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you know what I'm going to say, Kay? I saw a lot of acting when he got out of his Maserati in those days at West Ham. Let me tell you.
waiting for
When he
it.
was picking his kids up
boy.
from school. Oh my goodness! What a bunch of acting that was.
Boy, goodness.
If I may say, and this is no exaggeration, today when Xhaka was asked to do this, he said and described himself, Kay can back me up on this, as a method actor. As a method actor. That he needed to get into the role and live that role.
I needed to think of people who walk
Yes.
and channel that walking energy.
Yes.
yeah.
I didn't get enough notice.
We'll see. We'll see what the viewers think. Let's get the first question. Newcastle versus Leeds was pure entertainment for the neutral. Do you prefer to see more wide-open matches like this or more tactical, defensive football? Robbo.
You always want to see goals. You want to see attacking football. Yes, you'd like to see some decent defending, so it's made difficult. But yeah, you want to see goals. You want to see entertainment. 4-3 is the perfect game. Those Newcastle supporters will go home very happy. The Leeds supporters won't be, but at least they had about 92 minutes of enjoyment. So yeah, I'd prefer to see attacking football and lots of goals.
Sure.
Our late friend and colleague, Paul Mariner, when he used to do the games with the New England Revolution, and I'm sitting at home watching these games, and the game is not good, right? Mm-hmm. And he used to describe it, because obviously he's doing the games for his home club, the New England Revolution, as a fascinating tactical battle. I knew exactly what that meant, and in the moment I knew exactly what he was feeling. And when we used to see him then later on and he was doing the shows and he would describe something as a fascinating tactical battle, it was code for boring.
That was awful.
That was awful. So yes, it's much better to have wide open.
Especially when there's a 102nd minute winner for the
Absolutely,
team that you're
for
supporting,
Newcastle. Shades of Newcastle of old, I have to say. Rolled out the old kits. Did you see that this week? They rolled out the old kits from back in the 90s and then performed like it. I will also say, thoughts go out to my old manager, Kevin Keegan, on his cancer diagnosis. I remember when I joined Newcastle, Keegan said, listen, we're not going to keep many clean sheets here. That's not how we play. And that 4-3 that we witnessed today is exactly Kevin Keegan's style of football.
Yes, all our thoughts with Kevin Keegan right now.
Is that why you threw them all in, Xhaka?
Huh? Yeah, that's what he told me to do. That's what he said.
No pressure there.
That's what he meant when he said we're not going to keep many clean sheets. At least that's what I thought he meant.
Right. There was no chance that Kay knew that the uniforms had been rolled out. She's like, yeah, sure.
Oh, no, it's the old, Oh, it's
I'm all over
Kay
the
knows.
North. I'm all over what's going on
She's
in
from
the
the
Northeast.
Northeast. She knows. She knows.
I know that Sunderland lost today as well.
Hey!
Xhaka, modern keepers are spoiled. So what's the muddiest 6-yard box you ever had to defend?
Oh, well, I mean, professionally, are we talking back in Trinidad where, yeah, that was a regular occurrence, playing in mud, especially the rainy season that we have down there.
What about as a pro when you go to those lower league teams in cup games?
Yeah,
and stuff?
those are hard. I remember one year we played, and this game, I'm trying to remember, was it Stevenage? I want to think that when Kenny Dalglish came out and said something like we should play it up at St James's Park, and there was this big furor about it, and then so we had to go play there, and it held it down all day. Lower league club. It was an awful ground. We got out of there with a 1-1. I couldn't be more happy with Jordan in the cup. And then went back to St James's and won. But we were just so happy to get out of that. Still in the competition.
You were asking us about your experience of the team that you played against. Like, was it Stevenage? I don't know. Jack, was it Stevenage?
I bet Rob or Kay would remember. So Kenny Dalglish came out and said, we can't play on this, something of the sort. And the whole country went mad over it. And all eyes were on us, expecting us to lose.
So you still don't know if it was Stevenage?
I think it was Stevenage. I can't remember. That's a long. You know me.
Do you remember this snobbery, Robbo?
Yeah, I think Shaq was part of it as well. He said, I can't keep in a goal mouth like this. Upset everybody in the country, as he just said.
My Maserati got stuck in the car parking lot.
That's right. Yeah, there wasn't a car parking spot for Shaq's Maserati, so he had to park it down the road. Got scratched apparently. There were some bad pitches in those days, and quite often it was the third round of the FA Cup, which is coming up next weekend, where there was a lot of bad pitches, or this weekend, a lot of bad pitches, either covered in ice, covered in snow, or covered in mud.
Yeah, tough times. Okay, did any of the boys experience a significant moment or highlight in their final match for a club of theirs like Semenyo did today? So in the main show, we asked if you'd done something like this on your birthday, as he did, or if you'd had a parting gift like this, as he did. But it can be anything significant on a final game for a club here.
Why are you going to bring that up? What? My final game for West Ham. Second spell. Ah, boy.
You okay, Shaq?
No, Kate does this every time. Kate knows. Kate knows.
Question: is this part of your method acting, or?
No.
Okay.
Kate does this every single time.
All right, well then go ahead.
She finds all kinds of ways to show her on the 2006 FA Cup final.
It's important to talk it out, Shaq.
No, it's not.
It's therapeutic.
No, it's not.
It's healing.
No, it's not. Gets me all riled up again. Just when I think I've moved on and I'm living a normal life, you bring it up.
You could have used it for inspiration on your walk.
That's a good point.
That walk could have used a little bit more.
Yeah, my walk wasn't very good that day. Let me tell you, that walk after wasn't a very good walk. Let me tell you. Ooh, boy.
Ale?
Well, as I said, I scored on my birthday before, and in terms of last game with the team, I can't remember anything significant, because usually when I was informed that I was no longer going to be on that team was either in the off season or midweek or right after we had finished the game. Trades in Major League Soccer work a little bit differently than transfer window works anywhere else. So these decisions are made and you don't actually participate all that much in where you go and when you go.
I'll also add, before I go to Robbo, my last game for Reading was the playoff final, 95. We lost that too.
All right.
Shaq.
You seem to be the problem, Shaq.
See, he needs to talk. It's good to talk, Shaq.
No, it's not.
Good to talk.
No, it's not.
Robbo, any Zinedine Zidane style headbutting from you in your final game?
No. I left, as I think said in the show, I left Arsenal after having an operation. So I'd just come out of hospital and the deal was done. West Ham, I'd been out for about a year before I went to Coventry. What I would say is, though, I got a standing ovation when I went back to all the clubs I played for, which is unusual. Usually you get booed or you get jeered, but I was held in quite good memories by the fans, so that was nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's somebody that holds Stewie in good standing.
Well, more than a standing ovation.
Yeah, standing ovation.
There's got to be at least
everywhere.
a few of them for it to be an ovation.
Yeah, well, see the smirk? You see the
smirk?
Well,
I usually get a standing ovation when I come to West Hartford.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
When I come in the studio, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I have to tell the story. So I went back to Newcastle West Ham after I left Newcastle. Newcastle 2-up. All the fans are, unlucky Shaka. We love you, Shaka. West Ham scored 2. There's 2-2. Boo! 15 minutes ago, you loved me. We scored 2, and all of a sudden, I got all kinds of pelters. It was great.
I think I've told the story before. I had been traded from Houston to Columbus. And then I came back to play at Houston. I don't, neither here nor there, but I scored in that game. Whatever.
Oh, good
All right,
to know.
just to drop it there.
Was it your birthday?
Huh?
Was it your birthday? Was that?
No, it was not my birthday.
Oh, okay.
But I did notice as I was playing, I happened to look in the stands, and there is this lady holding this big sign. It's like a whole big old cardboard thing with a circle with a line over it, and the picture was me that they had drawn me falling over. It said, Moreno, no diving. I thought it was an amazing sign. It got my attention. It took some work. It looked like a school project to me. But that was, actually, that made me laugh. To be honest with you, that eased some of the whatever feelings I had coming back to playing to Houston, because I felt like I wasn't traded under the best circumstances, but it ended up working out for me.
You still won 2 penalties, didn't you, in the game?
What did he say?
You still won 2 penalties by diving in the game, didn't you?
Diving.
Well, of course I did. It's what I did best. And I scored a goal. Scored a goal. Don't forget, scored a goal.
What kind of goal was it, Ale?
Well, it's my kind of range.
I thought it might have been.
You know it.
For the guys, today is National Bobblehead Day. Do you have any bobbleheads dedicated to you?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I've got a little thingy on my desk.
Is it a bobblehead?
I don't know if it does you. No, it doesn't.
No,
Doesn't
just a little
bobblehead
figurine
thingy.
then.
Yeah, it's got a big old head though.
Well,
Well,
yeah. Well, yes.
well.
That's no method acting there. That's just factual information.
Stuart, you got a bobblehead?
No, I haven't got. No, I don't think I have. I know Shaka's bobblehead. He's always got his eyes shut as if he's asleep. That's all I know.
Reach here. What are you talking about?
Oh boy.
I have a bobblehead, but I also have a figurine that is part of a football table set that was made for the Venezuelan national team. So you would buy, I don't know if it was ice cream or something else, and the figurine was sort of like the treat that you got. And then you would put those players inside a set, and it would be a whole football set. So I was, there's a football piece.
Imagine just enjoying your ice cream with a little finger of Ale. Hello.
Scored tap-ins in football.
Absolutely.
He's right on the goal line.
For Shaka, how did it feel seeing the red card for hair pulling after what happened to TNT in the '98 World Cup?
First thing I thought of. That is the first thing I thought of when I saw it. Where was VAR in 2006? Might have scraped another draw. I'm great. Yeah, but I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter about any of these things.
It doesn't sound like it.
Nah.
It doesn't sound like it. Thank you so much for sending in your questions, guys. And for
I have a question for Stewie. Is that velvet? What? Is that, what's this?
Oh yes. It's velvet. Brushed velvet. Yeah. I keep seeing Luis Garcia come on and start wearing jackets and looking very smart. His hair is immaculate. I thought I've got to make an effort at some point. So the old velvet jacket got another outing.
I thought it was Asher too, personally.
Stuart, it looks great. At least someone made an effort.
I'm glad you think so. I was going to say, Ali looks great. He's got his tie on. He's got a nice jacket. I'm not sure what happened to Shaka.
Thank you very much.
Superb, Ali.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's all part of the acting, the method acting from Shaka today.
I can walk better like this.
It's nice to picture Stewie though with some blue suede shoes right now.
You know. You
don't know what's underneath here. I've got the shirt on the jacket.
Don't want Stewie to stand up.
You don't want to see what's underneath.
Don't want Stewie to stand up.
I don't think we do. Stuart, when are you back? When are you back with us? Can we expect you anytime soon to give you a standing ovation?
Not till the summer, I don't think, when the World Cup takes place. The next time. So.
Thanks for showing up, Stewie.
I think I need it. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Thank you so great, blue
As long as I don't hit my head on that boom.
Long overdue, that standing ovation. Long overdue.
All right, thank you so much for sending in your questions. Make sure to join us tomorrow on ESPN FC. Plenty more.